Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey girlfriend, you've reached Risky Intentions, where the balanced fun hoes go for spiritual enlightenment while still being a little risque. Follow us each week as we unpack healing past trauma, living with intention, and vibing higher, as we share all the raunchy ass stories that got us here.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm in such a good mood today.
I love that for you.
Welcome back to our third episode of Risky Intentions. I'm Cece.
And it's Jordy.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, y'all. I feel like third time's the charm.
Yes.
The first couple times we were a little rusty, getting the swing of things.
Get our flow. Get into our flow of ththings, you know?
But we here.
And I think what would help us flow is we're going to take this shot here that I poured for us.
Now?
Yeah, why not? So, wherever you're at, take a shot with us. See a shot, take a shot. You're welcome.
Wait, but first of all, you need to be cheersing to. You know, I don't just take shots to nothing. So,
okay.
What are we cheersing to?
We're choosing to.
I got these shot glasses in Cabo.
They're cute.
Nobody wants to take me back.
To more light and abundance.
Yeah. I love that. Abundance on abundance, baby.
Yeah, but you got to be light to call it in, you know? Can't keep it heavy.
Cheers to that.
Little ASMR for y'all.
That was really bad. He's trying to kill me. I think he might be trying to kill me tonight.
No, me? That's crazy.
Maybe.
What are your affirmations this week? What are we affirming this week?
You know, I feel like this week, what I really want to focus on is just self-worth. I think that it takes a lot to get to a place of really acknowledging and holding yourself accountable and just knowing that you're worthy. So my affirmation this week is I am worthy of accomplishments, success, and abundance.
Aww.
I just want to live there. I want to live on the top floor with a bad bitch like me.
I love that.
You know who says that is Hood Hitler?
You just want to live on the top floor with a bad bitch like you.
Like, come to the top floor with a bad bitch like me.
Yeah, and that's...
Hold yourself there. Be there. Be in abundance.
That's who you already are.
Live in abundance. Live on the top floor. Penthouse views, baby.
Only. Flash it only.
What about you? Tell me your affirmation.
We always manage to go together, and I just love that. Mine is, I visualize my dream life and watch it as it manifests into my reality. So we hold the power to transform our lives. Our thoughts create our reality. And so we want to continue to vibrate at that frequency to call in the life that we already imagine. Like, if you can think it in your mind,
it's possible.
It's absolutely 100% possible.
Tell me your affirmation one more time.
I visualize my dream life and watch it as it manifests into my reality.
I love that.
I see it. I see it.
I feel like the whole idea of like vibrations and energy and really being mindful of what you allow into your universe. Mm-hmm. And that could be with other people of like, whoa, you were really on some low vibrational shit right now.
You can feel it.
Or sometimes yourself of like
I'm being negative. I'm complaining too much.
Yeah.
Things keep going wrong because I'm in this mindset of, I just can't get anything right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Visualizing the life you want, the life you see, and then just speaking and acting like you're already there. And
I think too, it's like living in abundance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Of like, there's times when it's like, I'm broke, I'm this, and like again,
I think that's what you tapped on last week is like, just showing gratitude.
Right.
You have so much to be grateful for, and then only more things come in to be grateful for.
And I think to piggyback off that of like living in abundance again of like. In the vice versa of like not living in lack, not living in a place of like need and like like less than. So when you can get to a place of like really being conscious and cognizant of the way that you're communicating, and even to yourself, like
Mostly to yourself.
yeah, mostly, yeah, right. Who else
We
you
will-
who else you talking to?
We will damage ourselves in our minds.
Yeah, a million times, 1,000,000%. I like that.
I love it.
I like
Hold on to
that.
these all week long.
Right. Hold on to it.
Jay, what's
it.
the tea? I need to know. I feel like you
Girl.
got something juicy for us this week.
Okay, so let me just
Pour it up.
let me pull. I feel like we need another shot for
Oh,
this.
shit.
'Cause
Let me
it's
get
kind
it.
of crazy.
Coming in hot.
Coming in fucking hot. The tea this week is what everyone's talking about and what's been in the news cycle for the last 24 hours. Portia Williams is a fucking hot mess. You know what? Let
Them
me not say
housewives
that.
be a hot mess.
Let me not say that because we don't know the full story. We don't know what
True.
what Bravo could have been orchestrating behind the scenes, right? But Portia is my hot topic of this week just because it is such a crazy and juicy story. Many of you guys who may have not heard the news, Portia has been kind of in the hot seat for dating her co-star's husband.
Current husband, ex-husband, either way.
Ex-husband.
Either way.
They filed for divorce. I want to say in January.
And she's already dating him.
So the tea is that Portia brought this girl Fallon onto the show, onto Real Housewives of
remember.
Atlanta, and there's a clip that kind of resurfaced of her meeting them, and Portia was just had a baby. She's newly single. Her baby daddy kind of turned out to be a frog
Yeah, I remember.
and a fraud.
A frog and a fraud.
and,
Tragic.
And yeah, Portia came out with this statement. I'll read it. And she said, our relationship began a month ago. Yes, we are crazy in love. I know it's fast, but we're living life each day to its fullest. She wrote on Instagram, confirming the rumors circling around social media of their relationship. I chose happiness every morning and every night, tuning out all negative energy and only focusing on positive wishes. He makes me so happy, and to me, that is what matters most. Continue, for all of you that need facts, I get the optics, but Simon filed for divorce from a previous marriage in January. I had nothing to do with their divorce filing. That's between the two of them. And she continued to say, Phelan and I are not friends, and Simon's divorce has been settled. Our relationship is a positive, loving step forward in everybody's lives.
Oh.
So
She said that ain't my friend.
But you know what? It's was she not your friend when you met? Like, is that
When you brought her on the show, she was what, an
Right.
acquaintance then, or
Well, I feel like too with reality TV, it's like who really knows?
yeah, who's
right?
like really your
who-
friend?
Well, who's really your friend, and who could be like someone that's like, oh, we have this person that we're
We wanna
casting,
bring on,
and I
yeah.
want you to introduce her as your friend.
Right.
So that could be what's going on.
They could have just met somewhere once, and they're like, "Yeah, my girl here."
But I just
Yeah.
feel like it's like there's been so many pictures. Black Twitter ate this shit up. Like,
Of course.
there's just so many.
Black Twitter
things.
don't play.
Undefeated, baby. Undefeated. But yeah, it's messy. It's messy.
It's messy. It's like you have to see this woman. You're gonna continue to shoot with her. They're gonna continue to put them in group settings. I'm sure the other girls in some way will be like, oh, bring it up. How are
is that
you
with
guys?
Yeah, right. How
Awkward.
y'all doing? It's
His ex-wife
crazy.
sitting right there. You're like, I'm so happy. I'm smitten and in love. Like, damn.
Girl, no, it's drama. It's juicy. It's
Dramatic.
crazy.
They're gonna throw drinks at each other.
And listen, they said that like, oh, we've been dating for a month. They're already engaged.
Oh,
They're already engaged. She has a huge diamond ring. And I'm just like,
I know, and
ago,
a month.
do you really? I don't believe that it's been a month.
That's what would have me.
Right.
That's what
don't,
would have me
don't,
tripping.
don't be lying. If
Like,
you don't do the dirt.
were you
Speak
trying
on
to
it.
mess with my man while we were still married? I'm sure that's playing in her mind. Like, oh, they were a little extra friendly
Yeah.
that one time. Like, you know?
No, absolutely. I don't know. I just feel like she kind of downplayed her relationship with this girl, and it just seems messy.
She said, I got a man now.
It's all. I was married now. I just feel like it's all messy. It's all messy, and I think that I'm a firm believer of like how you get them is how you lose them. And I think when you start a foundation on something that's just like kind of rocky, I don't know. We're gonna
Shit
see.
continues to be rocky, but
We
you
gonna
know,
see.
maybe not. Maybe everyone can be adults in this situation,
Right.
and move with grace and class,
Right.
and not drinks thrown everywhere.
The other thing is like she's saying that this divorce has been settled, and like according to people, they like dug up the reports, they dug up the you know, all that
course.
stuff is like public record,
Right.
and people, you know, came to the conclusion that the divorce has not been finalized, but they did reach a settlement agreement. He's supposed to be a billionaire. Side note, I don't think I added that, but he's
sure.
like a crazy billionaire, very much so known and in the scene in the Atlanta area. He's got a bunch of businesses. I don't know. I guess I have mixed feelings about it. I always feel like I've always been the kind of person to think like, don't, like your happiness comes before anyone else's.
For sure.
But I think it's also a thing of like just shady and like just
But
it's
also,
messy.
When you're in a certain group with women, whether we're actual friends, acquaintances, whatever, when you introduce me to your boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever, in my mind, immediately,
It's off limits,
bro, you're immediately bro. Like,
yeah, 1,000,000%.
off limits.
I don't even look at you in that.
yeah,
I
we're
can't
not
go
gonna
there.
flirt. We're not doing none of that.
Right, just on some woman code.
Just like
women
just
to
girl
women.
code, you know.
Yeah.
You introduced. We've broke bread. We've shared moments together.
Right.
I'm not gonna go after him, man. There's a million
There's
other
so many
men
other
out
men.
here.
Absolutely, that's fair.
A billion,
That's
a trillion.
fair.
Like,
that is so fair.
but teach his own, you know.
I don't know. That's
Teach
just.
his
I
own.
hope everything works out for the
Hope
best.
she don't end up getting slippity slapped on live television.
Do you think that you could ever date an ex, like a friend's ex? No.
I don't think I could date a friend's ex. No,
Right.
like a true friend. No. That's weird.
An acquaintance's ex.
Possibly.
Let's keep
That
it a
ain't my
buck.
friend.
Well, that's what Portia's saying. Like, that ain't my friend.
But she's hung out with her and stuff. Like,
She came to her whole house.
yeah, if you've been to my home and we've hung out,
If
and
you've
like,
been to my home.
and maybe heard about how this divorce might be coming about, yeah, that's raggedy. That's pretty raggedy. But since we gonna be raggedy, let me tell you what's going on.
Ooh, is this
I got a little story.
It's Trife Life?
This is Trife Life, okay? Because these kind of go hand in hand.
I like it.
So I'm gonna give you a little story. So a girl I know, let's call her, we're gonna give everybody names. Let's call her Anne, okay?
Okay, Anne.
So Anne is dating.
This is a really old name.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's about to get old ass names. So I'm already thinking like everyone's getting
Anne,
granny and grandpa
Ronald.
names. George. Okay. So Anne had been dating this guy. We'll call him Bill. So Anne's dating Bill, right? They're going for some years, but through all the years, Bill's been kind of rocky. You know, sometimes breaking up with her, sometimes staying with her, and never for really good reason. Eventually, Anne gets fed up. In the midst of this whole relationship, though, Anne and Bill's best friend, we'll call him George.
Okay.
So Anne and George actually have a lot in common. They're very friendly, but never acted on it. Never
Of course,
acted.
out
But
of respect for Bill.
the whole time, Anne's telling me like, "Oh, George is so fine, but this is so wrong that they're best friends." And I was like, "Yeah, don't do that. Don't cross that bridge, right?" But eventually, her and Bill really call it quits, and I'm like, "Bill's been dragging you through the shit for way too long." Up and down, all around, like, just leave it alone.
I'm scared.
So eventually they really, really break up.
Got it.
And then eventually her and George just hang out, you know, as friends.
Of course.
And then things, you know,
Escalated.
escalated. Oh, wait, I got to backtrack. Because also her and George's ex-girlfriend ended up being acquaintances. They did hang out once or twice.
Oh, so it's like all in the family.
Yeah, like everybody know everybody.
Okay.
It's a small town. Everybody know everybody.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so now Ann and Bill broke up. Now Ann and George are kind of hanging out.
What did we name
George's girlfriend?
Woman? How long were
her name's Katie. We're gonna call her Katie.
How long were George and Katie together?
A few years, around the same amount of time as Ann and Bill.
So they have a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing too, on and off, just hot mess. So their shit was rocky, Ann and Bill's shit was rocky, and now Ann and George are kind of like, what's up?
Oh my God.
Now that it's dead.
This is so toxic.
Even though it's so fucking toxic.
Again, it's that same thing, no? Of all of the people
people,
you don't think maybe not that one. I get it. I get that you got so much in common, but look, you're going to meet someone else that you have so much in common with.
The plot thickens even more.
Oh, Lord.
So, of course, Katie finds out. Blows up Ann's spot. She's like, yeah, well, shit. It is what it is. Whatever.
So did Katie tell Bill?
Yep. Now everybody's pissed. Everybody's upset.
Everyone's in the tea.
Everyone's going off. And then, of course, what happens? George starts acting funny and still kind of trickles back to Katie. And now it's just a whole messy.
It's like a throuple.
It's a quadruple.
Oh,
they're all in it. Yeah, and then eventually Anne kind of messed with Bill again, and it's just like a whole
mission abort. I don't like any of this.
It's
my anxiety is through the roof.
What do you do? Do you block everyone? Do you disappear?
Well, listen,
what happens?
I think there's that part of it of the thrill, right?
Who's trifling though? Who's the most trifling in the story? Is it Anne or is it George?
Anne, for sure.
For sure. But Anne, if you're listening.
But also George.
George is messy as hell.
Because it's like, that's your boy.
Not just your boy. You took your boy's girl openly, then still went back to your old bitch.
You don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck about nobody.
Not one.
Nobody but yourself. Soul. And then he'll probably still leave Katie and come back to Anne at some point. I could totally see it.
Oh my Lord.
So, but Anne is the most trifling in all of this. Damn.
Well, just because it's in both of them are equally as trifling. I think it's one of those things like it's just because you know you see the big picture, right? Mm-hmm. You see where they're both equally wrong. I don't like that double standard shit. I'm not for it. I think it takes two to tango. You both knew what you were doing. And I think that you both are equal participants in this situation. Yeah. But yeah, they're both trifling. Trifling. That's some trifling shit. Let it go.
I hope everyone's able to disperse and just forget about each other.
Just let it go. It's not going to, because you know what, again, it's that foundation thing. Like, it's not going to lead to anything of substance. It's not going to lead to anything.
Because the way it started was so messy.
Exactly. And
it's only going to end in a mess.
Same advice to Portia, girl. I feel like just don't, like, you just got out of a whole situation. You got a baby to look at, like, just the entire.
I think that's why it's easy for Portia to just be like, oh, I'm in love again.
But I feel like it's like, you don't think that you're more weary of, like, got out of a really shitty situation.
But imagine you're in a shitty situation and then somebody so awesome comes in.
I didn't even say the guy, Simon. There's another girl
that she's dating now.
There's another girl that she's engaged to now. There's another girl that came out saying that she was with him, like has a video, has receipts in his car with the jacket, that he had a jacket similar print. And she's like, he's moving faster than his car or something. It's like a nice sports car, whatever. So.
He's messy.
He's messy.
He's just messy. Yeah. And
it's that thing. It's character for me. It's character, because I feel like at the point that you would do your wife like that,
you'll do me like that in a heartbeat.
You're going to do me like that. You don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Everybody disperse.
And I think that's important.
If you showed up in a relationship and we a mess, it started off as a mess. It's going to end in a mess. Let's save each other's time and energy.
And I think it's one of those, it's just, let it go. You don't need it. You don't need to be in that situation. You're not going to gain anything from it. If anything, now you look like a shady-ass person.
Shady boots. Now, all your friends from here on out,
now
like, your character, keep my man.
Right, like, well, your character is fucked up, too. Like, your fucking persona of how people are perceiving you is, like, it's just messy.
Homewrecker.
It's messy. And that could totally listen. How many times have you, like, met friends or something? You meet a guy that you really like, whatever, right? And then you meet his friends, and it's like, ooh, but your friend is actually more aligned with, like, how I'm feeling. Now you're a homie hopper. And it's just like...
Oh, that's a whole nother discussion, I feel like.
Okay.
But Anne could probably jump in and tell us all about that.
Girl, I want to know it. I want to know it.
We should definitely bring her on, actually.
Yeah, we'll do it. And if you're listening, come see us.
Come hop in the Risky Intentions booth.
Right.
And tell us more about this.
You're going to get in a hot seat, baby.
This novel you got going.
Well, speaking of trifling, I want to go into my cocktail situation.
Okay.
Coming from yours truly yet again.
Oh, shit.
It's always some cocktail. Can I have another shot?
It's poured up. Let's go. Let's hit it.
When did you do that?
I'm a
when
ninja.
did you do that?
I did it while you was talking.
Deadass did not even see you do that at all. You're a fucking... gotta keep my eyes on you, Ann. Gotta keep my eyes on you.
You said you wanted another one. I was just trying to accommodate. Yep, so we're going to take this shot here. Mm-hmm.
Cheers to cocktails.
The cocktails. The tales of cocks.
I'm gonna take a half one.
Now why you going to do me out here?
Sorry, that's just how I get done.
Have me over here all wild.
So my cocktail is coming from a bit of a personal experience.
She's getting personal.
Personal.
Tell me about it.
Get in my life.
Talk about it, sis.
You're gonna be my therapist?
Yep, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I remember recently, talking to this guy. We're going back and forth about, he's very honest.
Okay.
This guy that I'm dealing with right now, that I'm fancying, is very honest, but kind of trifling. We
like honest.
He kind of revealed something about himself, though. And I think, the premise and, the kind of, takeaway of, oh, but I'm honest, but I'm brutally honest, but I'm real about it.
Was it rude?
I mean, I just feel like it was kind of
'Cause
rude.
sometimes
It made me uncomfortable.
Too boldly honest can come off so rude.
And I think that people have this idea of, well, because I'm being honest with you,
Accept it.
then you just have to accept what I'm telling you. And it's like...
Wait, what was it in regards to?
We were talking about dating.
Okay.
So we're newly talking, whatever.
That can be a gray area.
No, well, listen, it's not gray. It's very black and white. We're very much so upfront of, he knows I talk to other people. I know he talks to other people.
Right.
And I'm fine with it. It's not a relationship. It's not a something that I really see myself being in long term. I know that it's temporary. It's just fun. My expectations are very low because I know that we're just having a good time.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly, Drizzy. So yeah, I mean, he kind of put his foot in his mouth a little bit of oversharing about another girl that he was talking to. And yeah, he told me something, and I was just so turned off, so just you're kind of a douchebag, and you're kind of an asshole, and I don't like it. And I think that whole idea of oh, well, I'm brutally honest is supposed to combat the fact that you're a piece of shit.
That's not wowing me.
I don't mean that he's a piece of shit. He's a great guy. He's got a great heart, but it was just he really put his foot so far in his mouth that I was just I don't know if I can unsee this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't.
It's I get it. We're dating. We're being honest about that, but also I don't need to hear all about it.
And also have the respect of wooing me, of caring about how I feel about you.
I'm still human. I'm still a woman.
Yeah.
I still have feelings and emotions if I'm dating you.
Yeah.
Sleeping with you, whatever that looks like.
Right. I mean, it was
handle me with a little care. A little bit of care.
Baby. Just a little TLC.
It's you don't want me to be oh yeah, and
this guy.
I sucked this guy's dick.
Hey, I don't know why my head went there too.
But no,
I was just bobbing out.
You say that to a guy, they're oh, I'm not fucking with her. She's
absolutely.
done. She
it's just non-negotiable shit of You probably should have kept that to
Treat me
yourself.
with a little care. I get it. We grown.
Listen, and I
You're
appreciate
single.
honesty. I love honesty. I love a man that can be honest with me. Because it's like that
We can go so much further if you're honest with me.
Absolutely. Every time. Every single time.
But also don't rub it all up in my face.
But I think that's what it was. It was kind of like, smell it. And I just didn't like it.
You gonna dead it? No, I don't dead it. I mean,
it's
yet.
already...
You're already turned off a little bit.
So here's the thing.
Look at that sigh, baby.
Here's the thing. No, I think for the most part, I'm really trying to be intentional about dating. I think in this late 20 game, like, I'm just not in a place of, like, wanting to fuck around.
The casualness,
No,
the way it's so casual, it's
that.
like, it's too casual.
I want to date.
Put a dress shirt on.
With intentional. I want to date with intentionality.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at.
If that's what you want, baby, then you already know this ain't for the long run. You're not just here for a good time. You're here for a long time. And that's okay. If that's where you're at in life, right. You're not just here for a good time right now. You're here for a long time.
Not at all, not at all, not at all. Which leads us to our episode discussion.
Our whole discussion. It's really about relationships and...
I'm back up on my bullshit. That's the key. That's the title.
I'm back up on my bullshit right now. And
the title of our episode this week is Back Up on Our Bullshit.
I feel very much back up on my bullshit. And I like it.
I think it's a good place to be. I think, honestly, there's so much that can be gained in that, like, that space and that time and that, like, duration of, like, not dating. Or, like, not intentionally dating. Not like when you're just kind of like having fun, when you're seeing and like, ooh, I like this, and you're kind of dibble and dabbling.
I think it's like fine tuning self.
Right.
So I think I'm so focused on my goals and like what I want.
Right.
Of course, I don't want to be alone. I still want to have fun. You know, maybe somebody here and there will catch my eye. So that's been fun. Dating's actually been fun again. Yeah. Because when I first was single, I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone ever again in life. And then, you know, you start dating again, and then you're like, this is weird. This is so weird. Is this really what people do? Like, never mind.
And I think, too, it's that thing of, like, you're a different person each time after a single relationship. Yeah. So it's like this new version of you that's dating. It's not the 3-year-old version of you from before. So now you've got this new space, you've got this new energy, you've got this new aura of like, okay, this is what I'm bringing to the table now.
Yeah, and this is who I am.
Versus like before, and it's like the things that you like, the turn-offs, the things that you're like into. It's different. It changes. Your taste buds will change if you let them.
Yeah, you know more and more. What do I like? What do I want? What are some hard no's for me? Right. Like, I've definitely went on dates with people. One date. That's all I needed. Goodbye. Take care. Right. It's good. And not even that it was, like, horrible or awful. I was like, yeah, it's not
for you. You might be the perfect person. It's just not for me.
Not for me.
Right.
Not for me.
Right.
Yeah, and right now, she's back up on her bullshit.
I love that.
Why do you think, though, oftentimes we go back to toxic relationships? Because I feel like it's just so easy to do, right?
No,
I think
for sure.
I've stayed in several relationships longer than I wanted to.
Right.
Definitely for a comfortability thing. And like I said in the beginning, as like you start trying to date again, and you're like, oh, it's so weird out here. I might as well call such and such back up because I know what I'm going to get with them. You know, whether I hate it or not.
I think, too, it's a little bit of, like, seeking validation of, like, do you still, like, that, it's that thing of, like, the same way of access of, like, do I still got it? Can I still reach you? Can I still, like, tickle your fancy? You know what I mean?
That
like,
ego.
Ego
comes in.
I think a little bit of it is ego. I think a lot of it is, like, you know, you don't want another failed relationship on your belt, under your belt.
Right. Why did I put all this time into this? Yeah. For it to not work out. Yeah.
I think, too, like, a big part of it is just, like, thinking that you're not going to find someone better. Of, like, nah, but he was just so perfect. And, you know.
And learning someone new and having I gotta tell you my whole story now.
I hate that.
And I want you to accept it.
I
hate it.
Especially like when it's just like I'm being vulnerable with the person and then you turn out to be a fraud or a frog and it's
damn,
like,
I didn't have to tell you
why
this.
did I have to fucking open up like that?
At all.
But then I also feel like it's one of those things of like you can't be closed off and hold other people accountable for what your past, like what happened in your past.
Right.
Because it's like that whole trust issue shit, that whole like carrying and dwelling in shit
it's
that
so
like.
hard though.
I know. It's
so hard. I feel like I have a lot of layers. Like a lot of layers to me, my personality, the life that I've lived.
Right.
You know, I feel like when somebody really gets to know me, every time they're just like, oh, wow.
And I think that's one of those things, too, of, like, a lot of times people don't really get the full scope of who you are because it's like,
rarely.
We don't even get there.
Rarely.
We don't even get to that point.
And I'm like, damn, you just see me in this small portion of who I am.
Yeah, I feel like
you don't even know me.
I remember an ex-boyfriend in college and maybe just not being comfortable with myself, of, like, really being anchored into myself. We were together for 4 years, and I felt like there were so many parts of me that he never knew.
Okay. That's how I felt in my last relationship. Mm-hmm. I was like, we've been together for several years, and you still don't know me.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Like, you think you know me, but you really don't know me.
Right.
We definitely stick around for comfortability. I think comfortability plays a big part, though.
And I think,
too, even
like,
though you don't know me, you know maybe my little nuances. Like, you know, what I like to eat and what my schedule is going to be looking like. So you know how to get to me. Mm-hmm. You know how to keep the access going.
I don't know about you, but for me, like, I will gravitate towards potential. I'm like,
that's women.
I think
women in general.
I think like you're going to be someone so great. Like,
yes.
You're like, you have the potential to be something amazing.
That's women in general. We see the big picture when it's not even there yet.
But we can't fall in love with potential. We need to normalize
the facts.
Not like taking things at face value of like, what is he showing you every day? Mm-hmm. Monday through Sunday.
25/8, what are you giving me? Because that's something I've definitely been looking at in dating now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I'm just okay with knowing, like, yeah, I don't know about this. And I'm not going to fantasize the potential that I can see or the what ifs or the maybes. Like, no. What you're giving me right now is probably what it's going to be.
Right. And I think that believing people the first time.
First motherfucking time.
Because people, if you stick around, I feel like after about 3 months, you can't really, like, hold off. You can't disguise and, like, put a bag over who you really are.
That's what they say. They say after the first 3 months, that's when people take their mask off.
No. Like,
they can only,
what the fuck is really up?
They can only put the front for about 3 months.
Right.
And then the true color starts showing.
I mean, I think another big thing that I want to emphasize on this podcast is, like, solutions. Like, I never want to give people, like, just, like, talk shit and we're not giving ways of coping and ways of getting over. So I have a little spiel about ways of ending and getting over a toxic relationship.
Gotta let go. How we let go, Jay? Tell us.
So, yeah, step 1 is realizing that you deserve a healthy love life. I think it's like acknowledgement. Like, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of a relationship that doesn't have to start and end and be like quantified by hurt.
It doesn't need to be a struggle the whole way through.
I don't think relationships should be a struggle. I really am a firm believer. Like, I remember and listen, he turned out to be a frog too, but we never fought. We never argued. It was genuinely like a really great friendship. And I feel like when things are like hard, some people think like, oh, we're arguing, that means that we love each other.
Care so much. Like,
we're so passionate. And it's like, it's not
baby.
normal. It's not normal. Step 2 is accepting that relationship was toxic. Just acknowledgement, clear acknowledgement of like, okay, I think in retrospect and when you could really genuinely take a step back, you can see like kind of the downfall or the things that you could have done better in the situation.
Usually it's on both ends. Like, absolutely. Of course they were nuts, but I'm nuts for feeding into that.
Right.
It was toxic. It was toxic on both ends.
Right. Remembering who you are. Step 3. Like just knowing like I'm out of body right now. I'm out of character. And if somebody takes you into that low vibration, like we were just saying, like that's a red flag.
Because you should be lifting me up in a relationship. If you're bringing me down, this is probably not it.
Taking practical steps to help you cope. I am a firm believer and a big advocate on therapy. I think sometimes like you really do genuinely need like an outside professional perspective on something of like, okay, you know, sometimes people are really oblivious of like, they really can't see it. They can't, if you bring it up, it's like defense and it's an attack.
I think we all need therapy.
Oh, amen.
But especially after a crazy relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to like redefine yourself. Yeah.
Step 5 is not waiting for an apology. I think so many times we think like, oh, I need closure. I need to have that conversation. Even like with having that, like, I used to be a person, this is something that I can attest to, something that I really worked on, and like, it took a while to understand of like, I don't need to tell you how you got me fucked up.
You knew where you had me fucked up at.
I feel like it's that thing of like, no, you're going to know, and I'm going to tell, and it's like, just walk away. You ain't got to say shit. Genuinely, like, you don't wait for somebody to like apologize. Sometimes that apology comes years later.
Or never. You may never get the apology or the closure that you feel that you're deserved.
Right.
And that's a part of healing and growing, is just like, accept it, let it go. Apologize to yourself. Let it go for yourself. Close it out for yourself, because everyone's living in a different
and that can apply to anyone. That can apply to your family, your parents.
I had a family member who I felt like owed me an apology, and I had to just accept
it was never going to come.
I'm never going to get it.
It's never going to come.
And it's fine.
Yeah. To further that and piggyback off that, embrace forgiveness. Because I think ultimately, if you're not really forgiving a person for them, you're forgiving them for yourself. Let it go. Let it go. I remember this, it's a short story. It's a short tidbit. This story about Buddha's, and they were like walking down this, this road. And if you know anything about Buddhism, you're not supposed to touch others. It's 2 monks, walking down, whatever. And there was a point when one of the monks helped a woman cross a puddle. And he touched her to get across, and you're not supposed to do that. And, they had a long journey, like a 3-hour walk, whatever. At the end of the walk, the other monk turns to him and he's like, you really shouldn't have touched that woman back there. Like, that was wrong. And he's like, the other monk responds to him and he says, you're still carrying that? Like, I let her go 3 hours ago. And that could be 3 months ago. That could be 3 years ago. So carrying things, dwelling on things that serve you no purpose, let it go. Yeah,
holding a grudge, it doesn't hurt the other person any. They're living their day-to-day life just fine. Like, forgiving someone is purely for yourself.
Right.
Let that go. Let whatever they did to you go. You can't hold on to it. You got to move right on.
Right. And filling that void, surrounding yourself with positivity, you know what I mean? Staying grounded in things that genuinely bring you joy, whether it could be anything. It could be writing. It could, whatever hobbies that you have, writing or working out or spending time with family or whatever. Like, do more of the things that feed your soul and your spirit. Know yourself and know what your triggers are of like, okay, this is good for me.
Right.
And the last step is, remember, it won't always be easy. Be kind to yourself and don't be a victim of what happened to you. And that's so important, because so many times we become victim of like, oh, and you got me, like, it's like, I'm not wrong in this situation. It just happened to me. I didn't ask for this.
Why did this why me?
Yeah, and it's like that whole perspective, that mindset of like, why not you? What is this teaching you in this moment?
Everybody goes through something. And that was just, if you accept it as a lesson and not like, oh, I'm such a victim, you're not any less than. If you know, things don't work out in your relationship, it's like, no, it's just that wasn't my time. That wasn't my person.
Yeah, it takes nothing away from you or the situation. It's genuinely just a thing that happened to you. And that's
part of your life, a part of your journey.
Yeah.
Fine tuning for the person that's meant for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
I am a firm believer in growing pains. Like, you had to go through it in order to get to wherever you're at now.
Yeah. You gotta, what is it? You gotta go through it to grow through it.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. The next phase of this is hoe phase.
What about the whole phase? Do we jump right into a whole phase after a relationship? Is it okay? But what do you think a whole phase is?
I think a hoe phase is a phase of rediscovery, reimagining, reconfiguring yourself, and just kind of like not being so tied to a person of like, you know, this expectation, this relationship, anything. I think a hoe phase is life. Hoe is life.
Hoe is life. Yeah, I don't think I've ever truly had a hoe phase. Truly. And I guess I just don't think I've ever had a true hoe phase, because in my mind, it's where like you're really just letting loose and then like exploring your body. Absolutely. And having multiple partners and like doing all that.
Yeah.
I just don't think I've ever had a true hoe phase.
No, I definitely had a hoe phase. I had a few.
And you know what? And I love that. I always tell my girlfriends that have had multiple partners around the same time, like, show me your ways. And I know that's definitely been like a personal thing for my own sexual traumas, like to not have multiple partners at the same time. I feel like hoe phases are necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you've never been free with your body or felt free with your body.
Right.
You got to figure it out one way or another.
And I think that a hoe phase is necessary in personal development. I think there's something about being free and in tune and like in control of your sexual desires and like that's just like it's control.
The thing is, women have been taught for years upon years upon years, centuries that to, you know, calm down our sexuality. When no, we are sexuality. We are sexual creatures, and we very well have complete agency over our own bodies.
Right.
But because of politics, religion, money, everything, we're taught to think that, oh no, I need to be like this and I don't want to be too much like that. I think
it almost comes like with the shame.
Yeah.
Like we feel
shameful
if
about
you're
our
sexual or if you're too promiscuous.
And I'm like, be responsible, be safe, you know,
Always.
Guard the temple. But if you're comfortable and you don't feel awful and you want to, you know, explore and try things, do that. Do that.
No matter my body count, no matter what it may look and appear to society as, I am woman.
Yeah. Who do you see yourself as? That's why these affirmations and intentions are so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah.
You tell yourself every day in the mirror exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You carry your intention throughout the week. Like, no, this is who I'm working on being, so this is what I'm doing. It's so powerful. Just being mindful and self-aware.
Should we lead on into our
intentions for the week? Let's do it. Let's do it.
You go first, honey.
Okay. So my intention for the week is I really want to focus on my meditation and just really taking time for myself. I've noticed over the past week, I spent every single morning around the same time really in meditation. Like, okay, breathe, clear the mind, finding a mantra or an affirmation and just really sitting there. And even if only for 10 minutes, and maybe my mind's racing for the first 7 minutes, but if for those last 3 minutes, I can like calm my mind and just hold on to my intention, I notice my day runs smoother. And then if there's a little hiccup, kind of going back to that intention. So I just want to be very mindful in my meditation and taking time for myself. I notice that if I'm working out, if I bring back that intention and like, yeah, the rep's getting hard, I'm shaking, I can barely do it. But if I just think of that intention, it's like it helps me push through. And I just think it helps really create my reality. So I think the intention of just taking the time for myself can go with my affirmation of creating the reality around me.
My intention this week is just manifestation, you know, the power of your thoughts and like the things that you really genuinely want. I manifest my full potential to being. And I think it's so much harder said than done. Oftentimes, you know, we have so many things that come up and are there to tell you how big of a piece of shit you are, or like how awful you're doing. But just keeping that state of mind of like, you know, I am my higher self. I show up as my higher self every single day. And just the things that I want and I want to manifest are worthy and tangible.
I love that.
And yeah, just living in that.
I think in manifesting, people always think material. I want to manifest more money. I want to manifest a bigger car or house or job or whatever.
Right.
But that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, I think just being aware and like, you know, you have like an idea of how you want people to perceive you, the self that you want to project to others. And showing up for that higher version of yourself.
I'm just simply manifesting my best version of me.
That's it.
And that's truly all you have to do. Show up as the best version of yourself.
And trusting that that's enough.
It is enough. Well, y'all better hold on to these intentions if you need them.
Please
if you
do.
felt it in your corazon, hold it.
Hold it for the week. Hold it for the next few days. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
For tuning into another week of Risky Intentions.
We'll be back.
Bye.
Bye.